plant pots, can't help it. That's where I got our chair the last time. That was like $3. It's a good garden chair. All right, so we're at Bostwick's auction house right now. It's pretty cool. They have an auction house. They do online auctions, they do estate sales, and they have an antique mall. So I really like coming here. Usually I come here when I'm doing the auction online, and we found out about this place through our good friend Wayne Myers, who has really cool turn-of-the-century agricultural equipment. We've done a couple episodes on him, and he tipped us off to this. And we wanted to see what this is all about. I met Lori on a number of occasions. She's the one who runs this now, but it's all family owned and operated. I think it's 3 generations so far. But it's always cool to look at like thrifted goods, antique finds, you know, for estates that are, you know, selling their house, or maybe somebody had passed. They work with a number of those folks and families in order to be able to get their stuff on the market. And that's how really good product doesn't go to the landfill and it goes to somebody else. And we have definitely benefited from shopping at Bostwick's. We got a lot of stuff from the Meadow House from this area. I was just looking at some of the garden chairs here. It looks really nice and they're really good prices. So we're gonna check them out on the inside and hear Lori's story. Come on out, you have your hands full.
My husband and I started Bostwick Auctions. I went to auctioneer school in 1994, so that was when it all started in the auction industry. But I am the 3rd generation in the antique business on my side. What started it was my grandmother had a square dance barn back in the, I believe the 50s in Brockport, New York, and a friend asked her, could she sell some junk from an estate in her barn? So she went from square dance calling to auctioneering, and then my mom and dad started a little auction company in Waverly back in the early 80s. My dad passed away, but I went to work for any auction company that would have me, Pat and I both, my husband, because we were teenagers. And then I said in 94, we were desperate for money. I'm like, okay, we're not making enough to make a living here, let's go try something new. And I said, I can do auctioneering, and I went to auctioneer school in Medina, Ohio in 1994, and we started the Bostwick Auctions. We bought the land and built this in 1999. It's been a really good adventure. A lot of changes over the last 30 years?
Oh, yeah.
30 years. This year, 30 years in February.
Congratulations.
Wow, that just hit me. Thank you.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously, things moved online as well.
They did. Right before COVID, we had done a little experiment, decided to try an internet auction. The live auctions, people didn't have time to come. We weren't getting big crowds anymore. We had changed a little, building the antique mall, and we're like, let's explore. So I believe it's a godsend item for us, the internet, because in January, we started our internet auction. We did our very first one ever, and it was a very big success. It was a little auction in the city of Binghamton, and it was very, very good. And then we decided, well, why not do another one? And then COVID hit before we could get that one off the ground. COVID hit, gave a little time off, but we were ready to go. So we continued to have them right through COVID.
That's great.
We didn't have to quit, and we grew during that period.
And did you have to close like the antique mall and everything during that time, or no?
We did,
Okay.
but since we live here every
Yeah.
day, I would post 30 pictures twice a day with prices for all the vendors, and we do porch pickup. And so we'd sell items, even little things, and we'd sell them. I'd invoice people, they'd pay the bill. They didn't want everybody to go broke. So we had such a great following. And a lot of customers were buying stuff to just keep it going. And
Yeah.
so we were doing still about maybe 25% while we were closed of what we were doing when we were open.
Well, that's great that you were able to diversify your business during
Yeah,
that time, you
it
know, with
worked.
the antique mall, with the online auctions. And then you also do estate sales as well, right? You'll go to houses and...
What we do is we only do buyout or consignment for auction. We don't do anything where we're putting a price on something at a house, like a yard sale. So we go into estates where if somebody passes on and you have an estate to handle, we'll go in and we can offer a couple things. We can offer a one price. We give you a price you agree to, write you a check, haul it all away, you're done. Or we can sell it for you on consignment at the home. We come in with our auction business and we put it all online and sell it right from the home. Or you can bring it here and we can sell it here. So there's a few different options.
Fantastic.
There, yeah.
I'm always curious, like if something doesn't go for anything at auction, what happens with that item?
We have kind of a little bit of a, well, we offer back to the seller if they want
Yeah.
it. If it's mine, it's going out in front on the free pile. We have our free yard sale at one point during the week, and it's the best recycling. None of it
Yeah.
ever hits the dumpster.
Yeah.
Somebody always takes it all, so.
That's what I think is really wonderful about like the auctions and thrift finds and
Upcycling.
people. Yeah, upcycling. People find value in it still.
They do.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite items? I mean, I see that around your house you got lots of cool things.
Yeah, I collect junk. 35 years of collecting junk in here, I call it, with love. But yeah, I love the stoneware, the antique stoneware and the Pyrex.
Yeah.
I really like that kind of item.
Can you tell like what is always like, I know when I see these things with names on it, like if it's like this one from Syracuse, New York, or things with like really cool designs, like really seem to add a lot of value to those stoneware
People
props.
like, in our area, they like New York State stoneware. So any of the New York State names sell the best. The script writing is the oldest form of advertising, like Owego, Richards and Doyle, right there, Waverly, Hoban. And I don't know if they were general stores and these had molasses in them.
Right.
Or there's an Athens. Or if they were from somebody that sold whiskey. It could have been anything. You don't know what was in them jugs. So,
I think that's one of the wonderful things is being able to like kind of unearth a little bit of the history and these. I think I got some old whiskey jugs from the Prohibition era.
Isn't that cool to think about?
Yeah.
It could have been, well, these are pre-Prohibition. These are 1800s, these are. But I collected a lot of this way before it was popular, so.
And were you collecting a lot of it even before you were antiquing? Or you went to auction school?
I was 13 when I started doing flea markets and auctioneering.
Amazing.
Not auctioneering, when I started doing flea markets and antique shows. So before I became an auctioneer, we were doing 50 antique shows a year. We were so broke, we were living in a truck, let me tell you. But we owned a house, but it was just in a truck from Friday to Monday.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think people love coming to Bostwick's. I mean, I like, even the online is easy for me, just to come and come pick it up afterwards. But I hear like people buy from all over and you ship it all over the place.
We do.
Yeah.
It's grown so much, that part of it. We have to ship probably 20% of every online auction has to go through our shipping department. We've had to hire.
You've had to hire people.
We have a full-time guy who just does shipping now, which is amazing to me.
Well, thank you so much. This is just really lovely, and we got to see more of your
welcome.
items in the antique mall, and I'm going to pick up some of my items today too.
Are you? Well, good. I'm glad I met you through selling you junk.
I know,
Junk with love. It's always junk with love. Junque, I say.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. My name is Yancey Moore, and I have been with Pat and Lori actually working here about a year and a half.
Oh, not that long.
No,
Okay.
but I have been a customer of theirs for 25 years. I came to their auctions for years. Just great people, wonderful family. There's two parts, there's probably more than that, but two major parts to the business. This part that we are in right now is the auction gallery, which unfortunately due to COVID is completely online now. There are no more live auctions.
Yeah, which is, when you say unfortunately, it's kind of like fun and exciting for people to come together and
We all miss seeing, I'm very fortunate because I get to work in the antique mall as well.
Yeah.
So I get to see a lot of the people that I used to see at the auctions there. We're very excited. I don't know if you noticed as you came through, we're getting a whole new restaurant.
I saw that on the Facebook page, actually.
It's amazing. But that was one of my favorite parts coming to the auctions with the different people that have run it over the years. They made, one of their calling cards is chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting. The peanut butter frosting is almost as thick as the cake.
I think somebody on the Facebook page literally said, chocolate cake with peanut butter, please.
Yes, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, so it seems like there was a woman, Heather maybe, that was taking it over, who had worked at the restaurant.
She had.
So it's kind of like, you know, a central meeting place for folks. Like people come in.
And we have seen that even more and more in the week that they have been closed.
Yeah.
We don't get to see all of our regulars every day because the restaurant isn't here right now.
When is the restaurant actually opening up?
They're hoping by the 1st of February.
Okay,
so very soon,
relatively
just
soon.
a couple weeks.
My first experience with Bostwick's was actually learning about it from a gentleman who's local to the area named Wayne Myers. I went online because I was thinking it was during that time when the auctions were online, which is actually, even though people don't come together, it is convenient.
It is, and it has been very good business-wise.
And it's very organized.
Extremely.
So it's a neat experience online. But then I came here and I was like, oh, it's an antique mall too.
As well.
Which has many different local purveyors who have their own antiques.
And can tell you how many of us there are. I have a booth there. Actually, I've got a double booth. And that's how I started working here.
Interesting.
I started with a smaller booth. Lori's booth was right behind me. And as I'm sure if you know Lori, she's an auctioneer. And she's not a quiet and demure person. And across the wall, she goes, and now we've been friends for 25 years. She goes, all right, Yancy, what do I have to do to get you to come here and play with us? And I said, talk to me. And I started the next week.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it's, and it feels like home.
It's like extended family.
It is definitely an extended family.
Now, considering that you've been purchasing things for like 25 years and you see things coming through, what are you looking for? What are you always looking for?
I've done this since I was probably about 7 or 8 years old. My mom used to manage antique shows, and so I've grown up around this. I've gotten now to a point that I have to really, it takes a lot for me to go anymore.
And probably no more space.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have a 13-room, over 3,000 square foot house that I live in alone.
Yeah.
If I bring one more piece of furniture in, something has to leave.
It might be you.
And it could be. That's very true. So it is an addiction.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful addiction, and usually whatever you invest, you can get back out if you change your mind.
Yeah, that's right. You know, this stuff in many ways maintains its value.
It does.
Don't you always hate though when I'm like on the auction and I'm like, people know quality.
Of course.
And they know cool stuff. And I'm like, the thing that I like is the thing that everybody else likes. They're all bidding on it.
Like I said, it takes a lot to take my breath away now.
Yeah.
And the furniture especially, it's got to be something really unique.
That's the thing. I think when I look at some of the stuff that has been created, or even like, we got a stuffed toy that was made in the USA, like that's so unusual now, you know, and just really nice furniture, as you'd mentioned, really great homeware, just things that carry on a story and that are high quality that you wouldn't normally see nowadays.
The neat thing with Pat and Lori's, with Bostwick's, as we mentioned before, it is truly a family because their son is part of the business also.
Kyle, right?
Kyle.
Yeah.
And their grandson, his son, is here too, helping out. It is such a family affair, and we all consider ourselves family as well. And they have a great following. Everything that comes in for the auction, or most of it, belongs to someone who they've consigned it into us as an auction.
Yeah.
We were talking before about the online. As much as it is not as much fun for us, it is actually better financially because it broadens. There are things that go to Europe. There are things that go to the West Coast.
Right, because you will ship some things
absolutely,
too, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's something too. If you go on like, it's on high bid, but it's like Bostwick's on high bid.
High bid, correct.
And then you could actually bid online and you see some things. And it's really interesting because it takes on not only the southern tier of New York, it goes into Pennsylvania perchance. And so and there's a lot of interesting accoutrements that you typically not find in other parts of the region. So there's something that is regional and a regional aspect about it as well. I was thinking about bidding on this. This is an example of something that went way too expensive for me.
Did it? I don't even know where it is.
Yeah, it was like the last auction.
Last week we had a magnificent poster of a cigarette, of all things, from the turn of the last century. And I was here when Lori and Pat got it in. And magnificent piece. They collect advertising posters. None of us are smokers, so it was not appealing to us.
Yeah.
But she said, this is going to go, and it was astronomical.
Right.
A cardboard poster that was in a very nice frame. I know it went for over $500.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I was bidding on a beautiful cherry kind of barrel armchair.
Yes.
But I was totally outbid. Somebody else was
500 and something.
Oh yeah, it went too high.
Yeah.
I was like, no, but I never seen a chair like that.
Did you come and see it?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God. My best friend was bidding on it also.
Oh, he probably got it.
No, she didn't.
Oh, okay.
It was solid cherry and very comfortable, and I would say probably the 50s, mid-century.
Okay.
Beautiful piece.
I couldn't find when I was looking, because I'll often kind of look online and be like, does this exist anywhere else?
Sure.
Curved cherry. I was trying to look like swan, barrel chair, armchair, whatever. I couldn't find anything like it. It was like a one-of-a-kind piece,
And Janet said the same thing. She couldn't find it, but it was so comfortable. It was. I'm sorry you didn't get it.
It's okay.
I don't know who did.
Somebody else must have fallen
and
in love with it too. So
that's the neat thing. There is a story for every single thing that you see here.
Yeah.
And the furniture too.
Amazing. Well, I guess we'll check out the mall part.
Absolutely.
And maybe we'll pop by. We'll see. We'll probably pass by your little booth as well. So.
Absolutely. Tell Amy that I request that she does the interview in front of my booth.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Free advertising.
Exactly.
Look at that cat.
I'm Amy McCarthy, and I've been with Bostwick's nearly a year.
Oh, okay. So, Yancy was only about a year too.
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like you're part of the family as well?
Of course I do. Of course I am.
Amazing.
I got a corn muffin brought to me, hand delivered this morning.
That's amazing. So, what is this part of Bostwick's?
This is the antique mall. So we've got nearly 90 vendors and growing every day between the new partition that they built. We just celebrated 5 years in the spring. And the old part as well. So, and of course our diner is over there.
Yeah, so the old part also has like little storefronts in then as
It does.
well. Okay, because I never really realized like that. I thought this was maybe the storefront and that was like the Bostwick side or something.
Well, they are over there. They have a lot over there, but no, it's all a continuation.
Cool. So each one of these is like a pod, like someone's little...
Absolutely. Okay. It's their own little storefront.
And how do you know like whose is whose?
So they have each one of our tags, for example, have a vendor number.
I see, okay.
That identifies each person.
Got it.
They always have a description and a price. So when they bring that to the counter, our system enables us to enter all three of those things, and then we're able to make the sale.
Yeah. I mean, when I walk through here, if we could, if I may.
Sure.
It's actually a really nice selection of stuff, and it seems, I mean, I guess the vendors price it out themselves.
Yes. Yes, they do.
It always seems like to be a very normal price. Like
Right.
yeah.
Very fair.
Yeah, very fair.
We have people that come in from New York City. We have people that come in from Syracuse. Actually, we have people that come in from many states multiple times throughout the week.
Yeah.
Hello, be right there. And they're always hunting, and they always say, this is a premier spot because they can find their goods and then take them out of the area, either for resale or for their own.
And how were you, I guess, integrated into Bostwick society? Like, did you just apply to a job, or did you always like antiquing and thrifting?
Always liked thrifting.
Yeah.
I moved in from the Midwest, actually.
Oh, okay.
And a mutual friend of the Bostwicks that actually recommended, said, you know what, you would be a great frontline person. So
Yeah.
I came over that day and voila, they hired me. So yeah, I've been with them for a year, yes, and it is a family.
Are there specific things that you really like personally, that you look for, or that you're like, oh wow, I have my eye on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love artwork. I love the mid-century modern. We're looking to bring more of that in here, along with the antiques.
Yeah.
You know, fall into the vintage category with the collectibles. I love the artwork.
What kind of artwork do you like?
Well, anything that has a unique flair. For
Yeah.
example, there's a print that's actually up at the desk as we
Should we
speak.
go see?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go see it. I
So
wanna
this
see what
is
your tastes are.
This is a fun piece. It's actually not going to be mine.
Yeah.
People bring them up, and I think, oh, I should have seen that first. But this is actually on metal.
Oh, that's interesting. It's like, it looks like it's painted on it?
It does,
Yeah.
but you know what? It is metal. So I'm not familiar with the artist.
Yeah.
But a fella vendor, 298, his name is Steve Nan.
Yeah.
And he's a darling vendor. And this was in his booth. So
Yeah.
it's a great find. Whoever takes this home gets a great treasure.
Oh, fantastic. Do you feel like this has expanded your worldview for all the different things that are out there?
Certainly. Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you show us where Yancey's thing is?
Absolutely.
His little storefront?
Absolutely. Sure. We'll go this way.
Yeah. Everything's kind of anonymous in a way. You know the codes, but we don't know the codes.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. This is a stained glass dealer. You know,
Yeah,
and
it's
she tests all of her
amazing.
stained glass, every piece,
And these are things that she found or has made?
No, I believe she finds them. I
Yeah.
don't think she makes them. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
She's not shared that part with me.
Yeah.
But in an inquiry, for example, for a customer who thought maybe something was plastic,
Yeah.
she said, oh, no, I test everything. And she went through the process as to how she does that.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's a great assurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that actually my uncle and aunt do, is stained glass. So
I would love
it's always
that.
nice to see.
I would love that. Yancey has this space.
Oh, okay. So he collects quite a bit.
He's very eclectic. He
Yes.
does lots of glassware,
Yeah.
lots of Victorian, lots of everything, really.
Yeah, I see that. It's really nice to understand a little bit more of his taste. He has some dolls, he has some
Yes.
figurines.
Yes.
And I think I
Yes.
might have actually gotten something from this booth
Right?
at some point.
Yeah, me too. This morning, actually, for me.
Oh yeah? What did you
He
get?
brought in a green glass bottle.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, this is the other one I was looking for.
Oh,
so
geez. Okay, there you go.
These are actually
Might
going
as
to
well
go
take
home
it
with
back
me
up.
too.
She's shopping
This
and
is
working
how
at the
we
same time.
shop.
Someone's about to.
No. This is
I'll take these ones
she
then.
gets first dibs on it.
That's right.
This is where her paycheck goes.
That's exactly
It goes
right.
right back into
We have
investment.
these cubbies back behind the register that you
Yeah.
probably saw. If they're full and nobody else is present,
Yeah.
they're probably one of ours.
Amazing.
Yeah, right.
Well, thank you so much for this little tour. It's
My
a really
pleasure.
appreciative.
Thank
You're
you.
just such a doll, and you have such
Thank
good energy
you.
around you
Thank
too.
you so much. It's a joy.
All right, we'll see what else Yancey has. Clearly, the green glass bottles, which was something
They're gone now.
I know. I do source green glass bottles, especially for the Meadow House, but I think the Meadow House is full up. These little wooden characters. I actually saw this little wooden duck, and these go for high prices. Not something that's this small, but one of those duck decoys. I just saw that actually on the Bostwick's items. Those are things that go pretty well. And then another thing that I think Bostwick's is pretty much known for are a little bit more primitive cabinetry. This is what I would say is a bit more primitive cabinetry. You can see how it's actually designed. This looks like punched tin. It's pretty cool. And one thing I like it for is also homeware and ceramics. So you can see some inlay here with this bowl. And then these bowls as well. You can see this is called crazing on the bowl, when it starts to kind of yellow up and get these little cracks in the ceramics. And that's actually something that, could arguably make it a bit more expensive, something that looks a bit more antiqued. So this one he has at $10, so that's not so bad. Like I said, this is an auction house where I feel like the prices are generally pretty good. Some places you go to and it's a little bit too expensive. This I thought was really interesting and unique. For some folks may really just consider this a tchotchke, but it's just the way that it's made. I think it's really beautiful. It's a vintage tricycle, $24. I could see something like this, maybe if we're displaying cool items, like in the speakeasy, just something that was really well made, kind of an antiqued old model. I thought that was really nice. You'll often see these. This one's a little large, but this is a cranberry cake. Or sometimes you'll see this I don't know what they look like in Europe, but they have the lingonberries, and you could just go like this through the bog, picking the cranberries, and all the cranberries actually go in here. I have one that has metal on the edges. Sometimes if you have low bush blueberries, you could do that same thing and actually collect it. Collect some of the greens as well, but that's how you could collect cranberries out in the bog. And I think those are pretty neat. The one that I have is probably about half this size. So I think also for people who are not using those, this is a really well-made one. It's well kept up, and that could be something that is a nice wall display as well. Again, you'll see all these like nice furniture pieces. Sometimes people redo them or refinish them. They might paint them, put the hardware back on. But typically when I came here, there were some really nice kitchen tables, like of solid oak, that are very beautiful, and they just have like a price tag of like $100, $200 on it, which is really not bad for good furniture pieces. Great pieces of end table that's really well kept with like these really beautiful turned spindle legs. And briar horses. This is actually something that I had as a kid. Didn't realize, I actually think I have this one in general, but these actually go for pretty good prices. Actually on their online auction right now, they have like maybe 40 or 50 briar horses. I saw them when we were back there talking with Yancey, but these are toys that I had as a kid. And if they're still in the box, they're actually worth a lot more. So who knew, the toys that you played with as a kid, they actually become really valuable. And like Yancey said, a lot of this stuff will retain its value over time because it's just something that's really well made and it's very storied. It has a historical purpose as well. Not like the jolly junk stuff that we just kind of have in this day and age. Old books. Where someone will like pack up things like this just to make it look nice. I prefer some books that are useful or that I could reference, so not just ones that look personally nice. So this looks like a little desk for kids. It's kind of neat. Sugar and cream things that are copper and brass. That's another thing, I love collecting little copper and brass pieces. And one of the places I feel like we could get them for an affordable price is here or at other auctions or thrift finds. This is just a Mexican copper sugar and cream. You can see that's about $23. That to me is even just a little bit more expensive than some of the things that I've often gotten here. One of the things that I absolutely love is beautiful ceramic bowls. So this would be something that I would, consider, especially like with the Meadow House, sourcing for a number of bowls at the Meadow House. This is 20 bucks, not a bad price if you want to go that route. This is a corner cabinet. You can see it's on sale. You can see that it was kind of finished with a little bit more of a shabby chic look. I personally wouldn't have done it. I would have kept the wood or had done the shabby chic throughout the whole thing. But 100 bucks, you know, for a really nice piece of furniture, not bad. Little odds and ends, you know, for folks who are doing like mason jars, have mason jars, canning jars, things along those lines, kitchenware. This looks like an old coffee grinder. So, you know, obviously we have like much more modern day things along those lines, but you know, these are cool. Old sleds. If you recall, this is something I had hanging up in Brooklyn, just like one of those, I guess they're called flyers. And I have it up in Brooklyn and it's hung up from the ceiling and I used it as a plant shelf. So there's things like that that are pretty neat. Here's a great example of a copper pot. These usually come up in some of the online auctions. This one's a little bit fancy. This one was probably used for holding cinders from like a wood stove or an oven. Let's see, it says vintage bucket, porcelain handle, lion details. That's what I kind of equate these for, but I could be wrong by that. But these are nice, really nice quality, very heavy duty. And again, it's really challenging to actually see things like that nowadays. Like this stuff, if it's like brass or copper, it's typically getting done like in India, and it's rarely ever done here in the United States anymore. So finding these things are a real gem. Got these jugs. Another useless vessel. This is something that's super common. So you can see these like jugs that the kind of salted ceramic, and I've gotten a number of these from Bostwick's and other auctions, like especially with their online auctions, you could get them at pretty decent prices. This one is a 2-gallon crock for 35 bucks. The ones that typically have like insignia on it or signatures or like a place name do really well at auction typically. And then just take a look at this desk or table, just this oak wood, just beautiful oak wood. I personally like some of the mission style tables, and that basically showcase the grain of the wood. So something like this I think is really stunning. It's a bit of a heavier piece of furniture than I would like, but a lot of the older furniture was kind of heavy furniture. And then here you have one of the old Singer. This is where you would basically sew. You'd have a sewing station up on here. So this one you'd probably have your sewing materials on, and you'd have your sewing station up here. And then my mom had one of these growing up. A lot of people will just take the bases and turn them into tables. So these could go for a pretty penny. This one is $175, one of a kind. So not really bad. Great baskets, places where you get picnic baskets. I've gotten a couple baskets here, which are really nice. Stained glass, this is a bit more too ornate for my taste, but my uncle and aunt are stained glass connoisseurs. They actually make their own stained glass, which I think is also really beautiful, that it is part of an art. It's just not kind of my taste. But let's see what she's selling them for. This small one is for $95. So I could appreciate it because it's like a really difficult thing to actually do. And it is definitely a very unique craft that not many people actually engage with nowadays. So yeah, this is the Bostwick store. We haven't even checked out the other side, but we'll probably just do like a quick run through there so you could see what they're all about. Stay tuned because we'll be featuring more good stories here in the Finger Lakes and beyond throughout the year. And special thanks to our members and our subscribers here at Flock. 10% of our Google AdSense revenue is reinvested back into community-based projects in the Finger Lakes, including repairing a walkway around a community park and supplying community-supported agriculture boxes to those in need through Muddy Fingers Farm. So your support is appreciated. See you in the next video.